All right, folks, so we are doing an update to our winter outlook. A couple of things have changed since the early part of September. First of all, one of the culprits for the change is very warm ocean temperatures in the Indian and Pacific Ocean. That's going to impact our weather a bit because it's going to shift the jet stream a bit. Initially, we were thinking there would be a trough of low pressure, Alaska into the west coast, but that trough is actually going to shift a little bit farther west towards Japan. What that's going to do is more often than not send a downstream ridge into the western U.S. and some colder temperatures into our region as we are seeing in the first part of December. Also, La Nina will likely fail. Maybe on the cusp of a La Nina and neutral ENSO because these sea surface temperatures are about as cool as they are going to get, and this is marginal here along the equatorial Pacific for a full-fledged La Nina to develop. With that in mind, the 10-year average for precipitation, that is snow, rain, ice that's melted down, and the snow, of course, that's melted down, ranges from about 19 to 21 inches across most of our area. Again, this is not snowfall amounts. This is when you melt everything down to a liquid equivalent, and snowshoe at about 29 inches. Now, we look at the 10-year snowfall averages. Bluefield's 29 inches, Summersville gets about 17 inches, Beckley 37 inches of snow, Lewisburg 18, and Snowshoe 89 inches of snow. So here's how much total liquid equivalent we expect this winter. 16 inches Beckley, 13 inches Bluefield. Last year there was a little bit more, 17 inches in both cities. 16 inches in Summersville. Last year you had 17.9 inches. Lewisburg, about 15 inches. Last year you had just about that. And then Snowshoe, 22 inches, and last year you had about 24.5 inches. Now, all of you want to know about snowfall. We were anticipating Beckley initially 25 to 30 inches. We've raised it a little bit to 35 to 40 inches of snow for the season. Last year there was 22.8 inches, so another 10 inches more than last year. Bluefield, we expect 25 to 30 inches of snow. Last year you had 20. Summersville, a little bit more than last year. We're expecting 25 to 30 inches for you. Lewisburg, 15 to 20. Last year you had 7, so double the amount. And Snowshoe will be the jackpot, as it always is, with 100 to 110 inches. Last year you only had 72.5 inches of snow. When we look at the dates for the snowfall, in other words, we look at the analog years with the positive tropical north hemisphere pattern and a positive phase of the quasi-biennial oscillation, which are the two dominating factors because ENSO's out of the picture. We see December 12th and the 27th as dates in December. A couple of dates in early to mid-late January. February, we have a couple of dates there right after Groundhog Day and right after Valentine's Day, and then right here in the middle part of March. So when we look at the country as a whole, we expect colder than average temperatures from the northwest into the upper Mississippi Valley, all the way down to I-70 in the nation's midsection. Warmer than average across California, southwest, warmer than average across the southeast, with near average temperatures along the spine of the Appalachians and the I-95 corridor. So the colder air is going to spill a little bit farther south this year, and the stormy pattern, a lot of this snow from the northern plains into the upper Mississippi Valley and also the Ohio Valley as well. We're going to be right on the cusp because it looks to be a little bit drier than average, and the drought will start to worsen a bit along the east coast. And also drought will worsen across the southwest, and drought will develop across California and the west. So there could be more wildfires than normal. So the lowdown on the winter is a few cold snaps early. We're seeing that in early December. But another one closer to January. But I think the cold snaps are going to get longer in duration once we get into the latter half of the winter. More snow than last year, about 10 inches more snow accumulation, higher heating bills than last year. We look at December, and the analog years really favor what's going on in the atmosphere with colder temperatures through about the 8th or 9th. But we do see a warm spell the week of Christmas. Maybe a little cool spell as we head into Christmas Day, and then it warms up towards the end of the month. So the warmest weather in December will likely be when the kids start to get out of school for the Christmas break. In January, look at the trend. Starts out a little bit warm, but then we go into a sustainable cooler period towards the middle and latter half of the month. So the first day of the year, temperature is probably near just a few degrees warmer than average, but once we get into Martin Luther King Day, we should be into a colder pattern across the region. And once we look at February, not much of a change in temperature, but we get a big dip here right around Valentine's Day and President's Day, and then temperatures near average. And then once we look at March, we also have temperatures near average with a couple of dips, one around the 4th, and then a spike in temperatures as we go in throughout the first day of spring. So the overall pattern is changing a little bit to bring us a little bit more snow and a little bit more in the way of colder periods as we are starting to see in the first part of December. Of course, we will track every winter storm as we go throughout the season and bring you the latest information. Chief Meteorologist Chad Merrill for NewsWatch.